Blessed day, ladies and gentlemen worldwide. Let me appreciate all of you that have been listening to my YouTube channel, Talking Health with Grandpa, and those that have subscribed, and those that are even sharing my health topics. May God Almighty be with you. Today, I want to talk about one of the genetic inherited diseases called epilepsy. People call it seizure. What is epilepsy? Epilepsy could be defined as a kind of abnormal discharge, electrical discharge in the brain, which could not be controlled, and it comes along with a lot of characteristics. And what are the causes of epilepsy? Epilepsy could be inherited. Not only that, it could be as a result of injury to the brain. Somebody who has skull injury, maybe as a result of accident, if not well examined and treated on time, later could lead to epilepsy called seizure. Not only that, I'm using this opportunity also to plead on the parents, especially those mothers that have just delivered and have bouncing baby or baby boy or girl, to be more vigilant, more careful, more caring, more observant to the movement of those children, so that they don't be so naughty, play rough, fall down as it may be, and at the end of the day they won't report that they fell somewhere and they hit their head on hard objects. At the end of the day, the inherited hereditary disease of such caliber now showing up. Because once they have head injury, unreported, uncared for, undetected, in future, it can lead to epilepsy, seizure attack. Not only that, people taking alcohol, hard drugs can also lead to seizure attack in future. At the same time, people who care less about their movement, the way they do things, they don't care, and by so doing, infection got into the system and get into the brain, and not well treated, can lead to seizure attack, epilepsy in future. Some young ones that may be having feverish condition should be quickly taken care of, because that also can cause damage to the brain and lead to epilepsy or seizure attack in the nearest future. Malaria parasite, if it gets into the blood vessels and get to the brain, can destroy the neurons, that is the brain tissues, and at the end of the day it can lead to seizure attack for the children. And even old age, there is degenerative changes that goes on in the system when we become old, and if that is not well cared for or observed on time, can lead to what? Can lead to seizure attack, and a lot of it. So what could be the signs and symptoms now of somebody who has seizure attack? Seizure attack, first and foremost, could be classified into two. Either partial is that individual will just sit down, within 2 minutes or 5 minutes he or she don't become unconscious, light fainting, that he or she might not be to recognize the environment he is, and within 1-2 minutes he or she recovered again. And some that is a bit heavy could come up. That individual lost control and lost his or her senses, don't know the environment where he is, and start shouting, cry heavily, and go into seizure attack, that every part of the system will be jacking, and he or she might fall down, start foaming, and start gasping if not careful for oxygen to breathe, and a lot of it. So once one notices all this and it happens, number one, once you know that you're having this type of case, quickly report on time for broad analysis, for them to know what really caused this seizure attack that you are having. Even in some cases, there might be growth in the brain tissue, and that growth now might be disturbing that individual and run into seizure attack. But with all this, once you detect all this on time and you report on time to the hospital, then treatment could commence. And there are some guidelines again that anybody who knows that is having such an attack, such illness, should be careful. That individual should not be swimming either in the river or swimming pool. That individual should not be climbing high hills, riding bicycle, or even driving vehicles. That individual should do away with all those things, because he or she may not know when such an attack can come, and it can cause loss of life. So seizure attack, epilepsy, is very dangerous, that we should wage war against it. And that is why I appeal to the parents of the children to be very vigilant to their children, either when they come back from the school, to check them well, make friends with them, so that they can tell you if they've fallen and hit their head on a very hard platform, and they might not report to you, and in future when they become old, they can start seizure attack, epilepsy. All those things are very dangerous. Then parents should be careful whom you are handing your children over to, either to go and play, or even going to either church, or going to mosque, or even going to market, or going to any party. Make sure you hand over your young ones to a responsible somebody who will care better for